On November 10, 1985, a hunter found a metal 55-gallon drum near the site of a burned-down store at Bear Brook State Park in Allenstown, New Hampshire. Inside were the bodies of an adult female and a young girl, wrapped in plastic. Autopsies determined both had died of blunt trauma. The two were buried in an Allenstown cemetery with a tombstone that read,
"Here lies the mortal remains known only to God of a woman aged 23 to 33 and a girl child aged 8 to 10. Their slain bodies were found on November 10, 1985, in Bear Brook State Park. May their souls find peace in God's loving care."
On May 9, 2000, the remains of two young girls were found near the first discovery site. These bodies were also in a metal 55-gallon drum, and police believe that all four murders occurred at roughly the same time, despite investigators inexplicably missing the second drum in 1985. According to investigators, it took so long for the second drum to be recovered because it was located outside the proximity of the initial crime scene. The cause of death for these children was also blunt force trauma. The adult victim, later identified as Marlies Honeychurch, was Caucasian with possible Native American ancestry, aged 23 to 33 at the time of death. She had curly or wavy brown hair, was between 5 feet 2 inches and 5 feet 7 inches tall, and her teeth showed significant dental work, including multiple fillings and 3 extractions. The three girls also had light or European American complexions with some Native American heritage. The girl found with Honeychurch, later identified as Marie Elizabeth Vaughn, was between 5 and 11 years old. She had symptoms of pneumonia, a crooked front tooth with a gap, 2 earrings in each ear, and was between 4 feet 3 inches and 4 feet 6 inches tall. Her hair was wavy and light brown, and she had no dental fillings. The middle child, currently unidentified, also had a gap between her front teeth and died between the ages of 2 and 4. She had brown hair, was about 3 feet 8 inches tall, and had a noticeable overbite. She may have suffered from anemia. DNA testing revealed that Peder Rasmussen was her father. In February 2020, it was announced that DNA analysis suggested the child was primarily Caucasian, with slight Asian, African, and Native American heritage. An updated version of her facial reconstruction was later released. The youngest girl, later identified as Sarah Lynn McWatters, was estimated to be 1 to 3 years old. She had long blonde or light brown hair, was between 2 feet 1 inch and 2 feet 6 inches tall, and had a gap between her front teeth. In the early days of the investigation, authorities publicized the case extensively in the United States and parts of Canada. They ruled out at least 10 possible identities, but despite numerous leads, the bodies remained unidentified. In June 2013, the National Center for Missing Exploited Children created new versions of the victims' facial reconstructions, incorporating dental information to show how their teeth might have influenced their facial appearance. These reconstructions were in black and white because the victims' skin tones and eye colors could not be determined. In November 2015, NCMEC released a third set of reconstructions at a news conference held at the New Hampshire State Attorney General's office. In 2014, DNA profiling revealed that the woman and the oldest and youngest girls were maternally related, indicating that the woman could have been their mother, aunt, or older sister. By 2015, it was confirmed that the woman was indeed the mother of the two girls. Forensic evidence indicated that the woman and children lived together in the northeastern United States between 2 weeks and 3 months before their deaths. Investigators concluded that the woman and 2 of the children lived in the area where their bodies were discovered. Advanced forensic testing suggested that the 2 to 4-year-old girl, identified as Rasmussen's daughter, likely spent most of her childhood in the upper Northeast or upper Midwest, possibly Wisconsin. However, in 2019, it was suggested that the unrelated child most likely originated from Arizona, Texas, California, or Oregon, though other locations could not be ruled out. In January 2017, authorities announced a connection between the disappearance of Denise Bowden, missing since 1981, and the Bear Brook murders. Bowden disappeared from Manchester, New Hampshire, with her young daughter and then boyfriend Robert "Bob" Evans. Evans later abandoned a young girl, Lisa, at a California campground in 1986 and was imprisoned for this abandonment. A DNA test in 2003, after Evans was arrested for the murder of Eun Soon Jun, revealed that Lisa was not his biological daughter. In 2016, Detective Peter Headley and genetic genealogist Barbara Ray Venter discovered that Lisa was Bowden's daughter. Subsequently, it was believed that Evans had killed Bowden. Due to the proximity of Manchester and the Allenstown barrels, authorities suspected a connection. DNA testing revealed that the Bear Brook adult victim was not Bowden but confirmed Evans was the father of the middle child, unrelated to the other victims. Evans' true identity remained unknown at that time. Evans, convicted under the alias Curtis Kimball for June's 2002 murder, died in prison in December 2010. Authorities believed he was responsible for the Bear Brook murders. In June 2017, police released a video hoping to uncover his true identity.
Yesterday morning I had some things to attend to, but I did call you, I thought, in a reasonable time.
You did.
And at that time you said that you'd give me a little bit of leeway for a couple of days until I could get my ducks lined up, or whatever term you prefer to use.
And that's true.
So what I was doing was making arrangements to get my ducks lined up.
Okay.
And now you've got me up here.
Okay.
So here I am. Now, okay, we've been through this road already.
Okay.
Everybody is different.
Right.
Law enforcement people are human beings like everybody else. Like every other individual. Now, I haven't talked any more about Sue's problems or my problems because, frankly, you're not my priest,
No.
and you're not my doctor, and both stories have their place. You know, gossip has its place in society sometimes, but I'm just not going to say any more about it soon or myself right now.
Well,
Because,
with the understanding
I
of
mean,
the law.
frankly, no, I'm not going to cut you off. I'm not going to cut you off. And I've always tried to live by the model that there's no defense against the truth. But sometimes it's hard to find out what the truth is. You got one side, the other side, and something down the middle that people might perceive to be the truth. Now, when that southern fire was roaring last month, I don't know if you've ever lived in a rural area before, but most people were signed up for the firefighting crew. And when you get a journeyman carpenter that's only making maybe $8 or $9 an hour up there, and I'm talking about a professional journeyman, somebody that knows what he's doing and works good. And I guess you could compare that to a carpenter in this area that's out of the union. I think the scale is about $38 an hour in the Bay Area right now. When these guys get a chance to go to work for the Forest Service for $28.50 an hour, paid 24 hours a day plus their meals, you know it's dangerous. They're going to go. They will. And it used to be driving through places like that. If you had a pair of shoes and you were close to fire, you get, what would you call it? You get volunteered. Park your car, mister, you're going to be a firefighter.
All right, Larry. Your prints came back. You know your other name, right?
Curtis or Gerald or Jerry or whatever name you're going by this week.
Curtis Kimball.
Curtis Kimball or Gerald what's his name?
Mockerman?
Mockerman, right.
Ring a bell?
No.
Yeah, that's who you are, man.
Why not?
Do you need another Coke?
No.
You all right? You need candy bars or chips or something?
No, I'll be honest with you. I got to eat small meals about 4 times a day, 5 times a day.
You need something? You sure?
I'm fine.
I got a snack. I'll run down to the candy machine.
No,
I'm just going to take
That's
my
fine.
hand. I'll be right back.
it's fine.
Maybe she hurt herself, and you're concerned about that getting out, that she's harmed herself.
No.
There's no
If
truth.
you're thinking, is she suicidal?
Yeah.
No, she's not.
No.
But she's not as aggressive as she used to be.
Mhm.
And what else can I say? I don't chase younger women. It's just something that happened. What can I say?
With Ray Venter's help, Y-DNA testing in August 2017 confirmed Evans as Terry Peder Rasmussen, born in 1943, known as the Chameleon Killer. Rasmussen used multiple aliases and was involved in numerous crimes across the country, including at least 5 homicides. This case was the first to use genetic genealogy to identify a crime suspect, later applied in cases like the Golden State Killer. In 1999, Sarah's younger half-brother posted on Ancestry.com to find her. Sarah, born in Hawaiian Gardens, California, was the daughter of a Marine. In October 2018, librarian and web sleuth Rebecca Heath discovered the post while searching for the identities of the Bear Brook victims. She learned that Sarah's mother, Marlies Honeychurch, had an older daughter, and their ages matched those of the Bear Brook victims. A relative mentioned Honeychurch married a man named Rasmussen, leading Heath to believe they were the three related victims. She shared her findings with Detective Peter Headley. On June 6, 2019, New Hampshire investigators identified the victims as Marlies Elizabeth Honeychurch, born in 1954, and her daughters, Marie Elizabeth Vaughn, born in 1971, and Sarah Lynn McWatters, born in 1977. They had gone missing around Thanksgiving 1978 from La Puente, California, while Honeychurch was dating Rasmussen. Honeychurch had a falling out with her mother and left, never to contact her family again. She might have adopted the alias Elizabeth Evans in 1980. Previously, Honeychurch married Marie's father in June 1971 and divorced by 1974. She married Sarah's father in September 1974, but they separated by the time she was dating Rasmussen. The children were periodically in their father's custody before Honeychurch regained guardianship. By October 1978, Sarah's father was in a new relationship, and Sarah was with her mother. Honeychurch and Vaughn's funeral was held in November 2019 in Allenstown, with attendance from Honeychurch's family and Rasmussen's daughter. Sarah was laid to rest in Connecticut near her father's family. The fourth victim, Rasmussen's child, remains unidentified. Advanced DNA testing confirmed the child's paternity, but her mother's identity is unknown. In February 2020, a new rendering of the fourth victim was released. In 2021, investigators revealed her maternal relatives were in Pearl River County, Mississippi, and in 2022, they determined she was likely a descendant of Thomas Deadhorse Mitchell, born in 1836. Rasmussen's daughter, Andrea Stiers, believes she met the unidentified child, Jane Doe, when she was young and thinks Jane Doe was half Asian.